In the heart of Kamukumo village, where the rolling hills kissed the sky and the rivers sang lullabies to the moon, lived a girl named Amika. She was the embodiment of beauty and intelligence, the kind that turned heads and sparked whispers wherever she went. The village men admired her from afar, many of them wealthy and influential, believing they could win her over with their riches. But Amika was not easily swayed. She lived by the wisdom her mother, Mrs. Jane, had imparted to her since she was a child. Marry for love, my dear, not for gold. Despite receiving countless marriage proposals from the wealthiest men in the village, Amika turned them all down. To her, love was something deeper, something that couldn't be bought with money or material wealth. The middle-class men, aware of her rejections, didn't dare approach her, assuming she was far beyond their reach. One warm afternoon, Amika's mother asked her to go to the market to buy vegetables. As usual, Amika dressed modestly, her simple clothes contrasting with her natural beauty that needed no adornment. With a shopping bag in hand, she set off to the bustling market, where the scent of fresh produce and the sound of haggling filled the air. After buying everything on her mother's list, Amika was about to leave when something unusual caught her eye. Near the bus she was about to board, a beggar sat alone, his clothes tattered and his face shadowed by days of dirt. There was something about him, an air of mystery that made Amika pause. The beggar's eyes, despite his ragged appearance, were sharp and intelligent, as if hiding a story untold. Out of curiosity and a deep-seated compassion, Amika approached him. "Spare some change?" the beggar asked in a voice that was unexpectedly clear and articulate. Without hesitation, Amika handed him the change she had left after her shopping. "What's your name?" she asked, her voice gentle but curious. The beggar hesitated for a moment, then replied, "Kombo. My name is Kombo." There was something in the way he said his name that piqued Amika's curiosity even more. He didn't sound like a man who belonged on the streets. Wanting to know more, Amika invited him to a nearby cafe for a meal. Kombo's eyes widened in surprise. He had been ignored by everyone that day. Yet here was a girl not only speaking to him but offering him food. He accepted, and together they walked to the cafe. As they ate, Amika and Kombo exchanged stories. Despite his appearance, Kombo spoke with the refinement and confidence of a man who had seen better days. He was charming, quick-witted, and surprisingly well-informed about the world. The more they talked, the more Amika felt an inexplicable connection to him, something she had never felt with any of the wealthy suitors who had tried to win her heart. As they laughed and shared stories, Amika began to wonder if she was falling for this mysterious stranger. But how could that be? Was she really interested in a man who seemed to have nothing? When their meal ended, Kombo thanked Amika for her kindness, and she, feeling a warmth in her heart, gave him some money to buy better clothes. "Next time we meet," she said with a smile, "I hope to see you dressed a little better." Kombo was taken aback. "You want to see me again?" he asked, as if he couldn't believe his ears. "Yes," Amika replied, her heart fluttering. "Let's meet here tomorrow." That night, Amika returned home with a smile that didn't escape her mother's notice. Mrs. Jane asked her what had made her so happy, but Amika only said she had met someone interesting. Her mother's eyes twinkled with understanding, but she said nothing more. She could see that her daughter's heart had been touched, though by whom she could not yet guess. The next day, Amika returned to the market. When she arrived at the cafe, she saw Kombo waiting for her. This time, he was dressed in clean clothes, his hair combed, and his face freshly washed. He looked like a completely different person, but his eyes, those eyes that had first caught her attention, were the same. They spent the day exploring the town, visiting places Amika had been to many times, but which now seemed new and exciting with Kombo by her side. As the days turned into weeks, they met regularly, often at Amika's shop in the village. The villagers began to notice Kombo's frequent visits, and whispers spread like wildfire. Who was this man that Amika, the pride of Kamukumo, had taken such an interest in? Some speculated he was a long-lost relative. Others thought he was a suitor from another village, but no one knew the truth, and Amika kept it that way. As her feelings for Kombo deepened, Amika faced a growing dilemma. How could she explain to her mother, or to the villagers, that she was in love with a man who had once been a beggar? How could she justify her feelings to herself? And yet, every time she saw him, all her doubts melted away. There was something about Kombo that made her feel complete, something she couldn't explain but didn't want to question. One evening, after a particularly joyful day together, Amika felt a surge of courage. As they stood outside her shop, she took a deep breath and said, "Kombo, I want to marry you." Kombo was stunned. He had expected many things, but not this. "Amika," he began, searching for the right words. "Are you sure? You know who I am, or rather, who I seem to be. Are you really willing to marry me despite everything?" Amika nodded, her heart resolute. "Yes, I don't care about appearances or wealth. I care about you." Kombo looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of love and sorrow. "There's something you need to know before we take this step," he said softly. "I haven't been entirely honest with you." Amika's heart skipped a beat. "What do you mean?" Taking a deep breath, Kombo revealed the truth. "I'm not really a beggar. I'm a doctor, a wealthy one at that. I work at the city hospital and I have everything a man could want. Money, cars, a big house. But I took a leave from my job and disguised myself as a beggar to find someone who would love me for who I am, not for what I have. And now, I found that person in you." Amika was speechless. Tears welled up in her eyes as she processed his words. "You mean, all this time?" Kombo nodded, his expression earnest. "Yes, all this time. I didn't want to lie to you, but I also didn't want to lose you. I love you, Amika, for your kindness, your generosity, and your beautiful heart. You're my soulmate." Overcome with emotion, Amika hugged Kombo tightly, tears of joy streaming down her face. "I love you too," she whispered, "and I'm so glad you're the man I fell in love with." A few days later, they held a small, intimate wedding in Kamukumo village. The villagers, still puzzled by the mystery of Kombo's identity, were even more shocked when they learned the truth. The man they had seen as a beggar was, in fact, a wealthy doctor. But by then, it didn't matter. What mattered was the love between Amika and Kombo, a love that transcended appearances and social status. After their wedding, Amika continued to run her shop, finding joy in her work despite her husband's wealth. Kombo, true to his promise, resigned from the city hospital and built a private clinic near Amika's shop so they could be together every day. But their story didn't end there. United by their shared values, they began a program to help the homeless and treat those with mental illnesses. Their generosity and compassion made them beloved figures in the village and beyond. As the years passed, Amika and Kombo became known not just for their love, but for their dedication to the community. They never sought recognition or praise, only the satisfaction of knowing they had made a difference. And in the end, it was their love, not wealth, not status, that made them truly rich. Your support means the world to us. Kindly subscribe, comment, like and share. Make sure you never miss out new content once we upload.